引导你去做更大的一个罪恶的一个小罪恶。
So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala there, He said, "Fajtanibu." Fajtanibu, it doesn't mean that it is haram, don't eat it or drink it or do it.
这个字的意思并不是说它是哈乱的，不要吃不要喝。
Fajtanibu, it means be away from it totally. If you can, don't be in a place that it has one of those things.
那这句话的意思就是说，你要最好远离它，就是完完全全远离它。如果说这个地方有这样东西的话，你就不要去这个地方。
Then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said, "Wala tamnun tastakthir." What is the meaning of "Wala tamnun tastakthir"? It means, and do not. See, this is another thing. And do not be also, and also do not be so nice in a way that you become naive.
那这句话的意思是说，你不要做一个烂好人。
This is also important part that it's okay. The one who is going beat me. The one who is coming beat me. It's okay, no problem. No, it doesn't mean this.
人家要来打骂我都没关系，不是这样子。
Then the last one is what? وَلِرَبِّكَ فَاصْبِرْ. Now this is the point. The last one is that, and be patient. It is for the sake of Allah.
然后最后一句话的意思是说，你要忍耐，那一切都是为了 Allah。
And here there is something we need to understand. Here we need to understand something. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, فَاصْبِرْ. فَاصْبِرْ is a command verb.
这 fasbir 这句是一个命令动词。
Isbir, it means be patient.
他说要忍耐。
Now, what is the relation? I am going to become a messenger. Why to be patient?
那有什么关系呢？我现在要成为一个使者了，为什么要忍耐？
Actually, this is the important thing.
实际上这是最重要的。
You need to be patient if you are talking about Allah Tabaraka wa
如果
Ta'ala.
你要谈论安拉的话呢，你就要有忍耐。
Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says in chapter 31, when Luqman alayhi salam, when Luqman is teaching his son, what did he say?
阿拉在第31章又讲到鲁曼，他要教导他的儿女的时候，他怎么说？
He said, "Ya bunayya, aqim as-salah." My son, aqim as-salah, said the prayer.
他说：“我的儿子啊，你要礼拜，
Wa'mur bil ma'ruf, enjoin good deeds.
要做好事，
Wanha 'anil munkar, forbid bad deeds.
不要做坏事。
Wasbir 'ala ma asabak, and be patient for what you will get."
而且呢，你即将面临的一些事情，你必须要忍耐。
So what does it mean? It means if you said the prayer, if you enjoin good deeds, if you forbid bad deeds, for sure something bad will happen to you.
意思就是说呢，如果说你去礼拜，然后你去做善事，你不去做坏事的话，那有一些考验就会来。
But something bad, according to what people see outside.
当然，这些考验就是外面来讲，他们看起来就好像是一件坏事，
But it is not bad, in fact.
但事实上它并不是一件坏
The
事。
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we said yesterday, he suffered a lot.
我们昨天有讲到先知穆罕默德，他吃了很多的苦。
But today, do we consider the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam a loser or a winner?
那我们今天认为先知穆罕默德他是一个胜利者还是一个失败者？
A winner.
他是一个胜利者。
So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all the suffering he had, because of the suffering he had, we are Muslims today.
那因为先知穆罕默德他受尽了这些各种的痛苦，所以才我们今天的穆斯林。
And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "La yahdi Allahu bika rajulan wahidan khayrun laka mimma tala'at alayhi ash-shamsu wa gharabat." If Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala use you as a tool to make someone Muslim, if you could make someone Muslim, only one, it is better for you than what is on earth totally.
那先知穆罕默德说，如果阿拉用你来做一个工具，引导另外一个人来成为穆斯林的话，那你得到了这样的一个结果呢，是比整个大地上的一切还要更高尚的。
This is for one Muslim.
这只是让一个穆斯林成为一个人成为穆斯林。
Now, see all of those Muslims since the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam until the day of judgment. All of them, they are on the shoulder of the Prophet Muhammad
从
sallallahu
先知穆罕
alaihi
默
wasallam.
德一直到世界末日，所有的穆斯林都会记在先知穆罕默德的肩膀上，都是他的一个功劳。
So he is a winner or not?
所以他是不是一个胜利者？
So do not look at the obstacle as an obstacle when you are talking about Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala.
所以当我们要跟人家谈到阿拉的时候呢，不要把这些障碍当作是障碍。
It is not an obstacle actually, it is a gift.
它不是一个障碍，而是一个礼物。
It is a training.
它是一个训练。
And when someone who is always in the first class, in the first grade, he never go to the second year, third year, he's always in the first year. So the student who is always in the first year, he will have the same questions always.
一个人如果老是留在1年级，没有办法就是升级的话，他每次遇到的考题都是一样的。
Now, if you don't know, in case you are in the school, and you don't know what is the meaning of fail and pass, but every year you are receiving the same questions.
那如果说你不晓得说你不晓得说你到底有没有过关，还是说被留级，那你要看你每年，如果你每年得到的这个问题都是一样的。
This year you receive those questions.
今年的考题是这个。
Next year you receive the same questions.
明年的考题还是同一个。
Does it mean that last year you fail or pass?
那是表示你去年有通过吗？
It means you fail.
表示你去年没有通过。
And then next year, every year you are receiving the same questions.
每年你都接受到同样的考题。
This means that you were never upgraded.
那表示说你一直都没有升级。
وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. No way to compare. When today you have this problem.
当今天我们遇到这个问题。
And until next year, you still have the same level of problems. You are still here.
明年的话还是同样的一个问题。
So this means that you are upgrading yourself or not?
那表示你有升级吗？
This means that you are not upgrading yourself.
没有。
But today I have a finance problem.
那我今天有个财务困难。
And tomorrow I still have the finance problem and plus some health problem.
那明天我还是有财务困难，又遇到健康的问题。
After tomorrow, I still have the finance problem and the health problem plus some other problem.
然后之后呢，又这2个问题，再加上另外一个问题。
Does it mean that I will die with the problems?
那因为这个问题而死掉吗？
No. All they may be released, inshallah.
那事实上，这所有的问题，inshallah都会在很快的就会整个解决掉。
But the main point is that, am I making use of these problems?
但是重点说，我没有从这些考验来从中学习到任何东西。
This is the point. If I am making use of it, I am learning from it. So this means that I am making use of what Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is giving me.
如果说我有汲取教训的话呢，表示我已经从阿拉他给我的这个训练当中有得到好处。
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he heard those ayahs, he prepared himself. He knew that he has a big job.
那先知穆罕默德接受到这2则的这个经文之后，他已经把自己心理准备好，说他要去面临这些考验。
Now, before we end today, because tomorrow inshallah we will keep going with how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how he started to spread Islam and so on. But before we finish, there is one more thing also I want you to know it. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to receive the wahi, the revealing in different ways.
先知穆罕默德他所接受到的这个就是降世的这个经文的话，有很多种不同的方式。
So the first part we already mentioned it, which was the dream.
就是第一
The
个部
first
分
6 months.
我们刚刚有讲到，就他成为先知前的6个月是做梦，
So this is one way.
这是第一个方式。
Now another way, sometimes Jibril alayhi salam, he comes to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the shape of a man.
有时候呢，加百列天使他会用一个男人的这个形态在他的面前出现。
And when this used to happen to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, normally the companions, they used to see him.
那如果他用这样的方式的话，他的弟子也看得到这个天使。
But of course they see him as a man.
但是他们看他的这个形态的话，是一个人。
Like once the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting, and then one person, he came, nobody knew who is he. He just came, he sit next to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He put his knee, touching the knee of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Jibril, that man, he was Jibril. He was asking the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam questions.
那有一次有一个人他就走进来，那所有的人都不认识他，然后他就走进来呢，然后就坐在先知穆罕默德的面前，然后他的就跪下来，他的这个膝盖呢就碰到先知穆罕默德，他就问他一个问题。
And whenever he asked the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam a question, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam answered, and that man say, "You are right."
那每次他问一个问题，那先知穆罕默德就回答，然后先知穆罕默德回答之后，他就说你说的没错。那刚没有讲到，就这个人就是加百列天使化身的。
And then after he left, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, "Do you know who is this?"
他离开之后呢，先知穆罕默德就问大家说，你们知道他是谁吗？
They said, "Allah wa rasuluhu a'lam." They said, "Allah and His Messenger, they know, we don't know."
他说呢，阿拉还有他的使者知道，我们不晓得。
So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, he said, "This is Jibreel. He came to teach you Islam."
那他就说呢，他是天使加百列，他是过来要教导大家伊斯兰。
So this is another way.
这是第二种方式。
One way is that sometimes the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he received something in his heart.
那有时候呢，先知穆罕默德就是他的心里接受到什么样的东西。
So it comes directly from Allah to his heart, and he say it
就是直接从阿拉那边进到他的心里，然后先知穆罕默德就直接讲出来。
without seeing anyone. Just something come to his heart, and he speak it
他
out.
没有看到任何人，然后呢，就这个东西进他心里，他就讲出来。
Like what? Like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said in one hadith, he said that it was sent to my heart. It means Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala told me to my heart that there is no any soul, or there is no anyone means, will die before he get what is written for him to get.
那在一则圣训里面，先知穆罕默德说呢，他就是这个东西呢，他只从阿拉那边直接进到我的心里，然后就是告诉我们说，任何一个人呢，在他得到阿拉就是为他预定的这个东西全部都得到之前，他是不会死的。
So this is what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. So be righteous, fear Allah, wa ajmidu fi talab, and ask Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala in a nice way.
所以你要做一个正直的人，你要敬畏阿拉，然后你要跟阿拉请求的时候，你要用一个礼貌好的方式去跟阿拉请求。
And do not be sad, do not be angry, do not be stressed when you don't get what you are asking for right away.
如果说你要请求的东西，阿拉没有马上给你的话，不要伤心难过，也不要觉得有压力。
And never, if it delay, if what you are asking for is delay, never get it by disobeying Allah.
如果说你跟阿拉请求的东西呢，一直都没有来的话，那你不要想说要做一些违背阿拉的事情，然后要提早得到它。
Because what is in the hand of Allah, you cannot take it from Him by disobeying Him.
因为呢，一切都在阿拉的手里，你不可能去做一些违背阿拉的事情，来从阿拉的手里得到你要的东西，这是不可能的。
So this is hadith.
这是一则圣训，
So this is another way for the revealing.
这是另外一种的这个降世的方式。
Another way for revealing is that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sometimes he used to see Jibreel exactly as he is, Jibreel alayhi salam.
另外一种方式呢，就是有时候他会看到加百列天使他原来的这个样貌。
And actually this happened to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam only twice.
那这个只有发生2次。
Another way, this was the hardest way for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is that it used to come to him as a very strong, very loud voice of a bell.
另外一种方式呢，对阿拉对先知穆罕默德来讲是比较难、比较艰难的，就是比较不容易的。那就是说他会声音很大声，好像那个钟在响一样的声音。
The companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they said that when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when something revealed to him, we used to hear the voice around him, same as the voice of a group of bees. This voice.
那他的弟子们在常讲说，当就是先知穆罕默德接受到任何的一个降世的时候，他们都发现，就是先知穆罕默德他的周围好像就有那种很多蜜蜂在那边围绕的那样子的那种很嘈杂的声音。
And this was the strongest upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
这是就是对先知穆罕默德算是比较严厉的一种严酷的一种方式，比较难的方式。
When this used to happen, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to sweat even when it was so cold.
就算外面很冷，那只要用这种方式降世的话，先知穆罕默德他会觉得很热，一直流汗。
Once the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam he revealed that was chapter 6. When chapter 6 was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was riding the camel, so the camel couldn't walk, just sit.
比方说，就是第6章降世的时候呢，那先知穆罕默德他正骑在骆驼上面，当他这个今年要降世的时候呢，这个骆驼呢就没有办法走路了，就坐了下来。
Because Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala already said, "Inna sanulqi alayka qawlan thaqila." We are going to reveal to you. Qawlan means talk, thaqila means heavy, a very heavy thing.
那阿拉说呢，我要降世给你的东西的这个言语、这个话语的话，它是非常重的，就是非常重量级的。
So this is another way. There are other 2 ways. One of them is the revealing from Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala directly to him. This what happened in Al-Mi'raj.
那另外一种方式就是说，就是直接在先知穆罕默德直接到他身上，就是 Al-Miraj 这一次。
And the last one is Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. He talked to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam directly, means talk to talk directly, and this happened in Al-Isra.
那另外一次就是 Al-Isra， 就是说阿拉直接对先知穆罕默德讲话，就是
or the first one Al-Isra, this one in Al-Mi'raj.
就是反过来，就是刚讲的那个第一次是那个Al-Isra， 然后第二次这个是 Al-Miraj.
Yeah, that when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went in Al-Isra and Al-Mi'raj, when he went up to the sky,
当先知穆罕默德登霄那一次
then he talked to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala talked to him directly.
阿拉就直接跟他讲话。
Okay, and this is also mentioned in the hadith that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the name of that hadith is Hadith Al-Isra. In that hadith, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala talked to him.
就是在 Al-Isra 这一则圣训里面，先知穆罕默德说阿拉直接跟他讲话。
And also in Quran, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala mentioned this in chapter 53 or 54. 53, I think. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala already mentioned this also.
那在古兰经第53章，阿拉有讲到这个。
So this is in general. This is how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam became a messenger.
这就是先知穆罕默德他成为先知的这个始末。
Tomorrow, inshallah, we will talk about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how he started to spread Islam, and who are the first Muslims, and how things start to become more clear in Mecca toward the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
那明天我们会讲到说先知穆罕默德开始传道，然后还有最先接受伊斯兰的人的这个故事，然后就是说还有当时麦加整体的一个情况。
So, any questions?
How was the look for Jibreel
Okay. You want to try?
加百列天使他的长相是什么？
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam already told us few things only about Jibreel. He didn't really mention a lot of things.
阿拉先知穆罕默德有告诉我们加百列天使的一些特征，但是他并没有讲整个把它讲得很清楚。
Like for example, one of the things that were mentioned is that Jibreel alayhi salam, he has 600 wings.
他有600个翅膀。
This is one of the things, and that Jibreel alayhi salam, when he opened his wings, he covered the whole earth.
然后他把翅膀全部打开的话，可以把整个地球包起来。
And it is not really mentioned more details like how his face looked like, how his shape. It is not really mentioned. I mean, as far as I know, it is not mentioned. I still can make more checking, but as far as I know, it is not really mentioned.
就是就我所知的话，就是说他对于他的脸部的长相、其他的特征并没有讲得很清楚。不过我还是可以去查一些资料，看有没有其他资料有讲。
But what we are sure about it is that, inshallah, on the day of judgment, we will see Jibreel, and inshallah we will see him in a good way. Because actually, Jibril is the one who is in charge of the scale on the day of
那
judgment.
inshallah 在审判日的时候，我们会看到加百列天使。那 inshallah 我们看到他会是一个很好的一个样子，因为他在审判日的时候，他是负责掌管这个天平。
So inshallah, we will see him while we are happy, inshallah.
inshallah 我们看到他的时候，大家都很开心。
Inshallah. Any other questions?
还有其他的问题吗？
No questions. Okay, so we stop here, inshallah, and tomorrow we keep going. جزاكم الله خيرا. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. والحمد لله رب العالمين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.